Medley Media Podcast. It's your girl Country, and today we are sitting here with the beautiful Miss Venomiss.
Hey,
she actually came on Hip Hop Star in 2016, the summer of 2016, right?
Yes, 2016. Oh my God, it was so long ago, right?
Right. Well, it seemed like it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, it don't seem like that long ago.
Yeah.
Now, when you came on, you were talking about doing your second album, right? Now, your first album got you like 19 nominations.
23 award nominations total for that first album. 23 was where we ended with awards for that first album. So yeah.
What were some of the categories?
Best hip hop album. I won 2 of those as the only female to win for 2 of those. But best collaboration, I won that one. Best new artist. I mean, it was just all over the spectrum. Best hip hop artist. It was just a lot of different type of awards. Like it was just crazy how many different categories I was being nominated in. One award show was nominated in 7 different categories.
That's dope.
Yeah, so
that's dope. Out of all 23 nominations, how many awards did you bring
brought home? 6 out of 23.
Dope.
I mean, I look at it as when you're being nominated on a national platform, just to be my name to be in that conversation. And I wasn't major. I didn't have a bunch of people behind me pushing me. That was a great deal. And then the ones I did win, I was the first female to win them. So that was a big deal for me. So yeah.
I feel you on that. So how would you describe your music?
It's upbeat, it's catchy, it's fun, but it's still hip hop. So the best way that we've come up with to describe my music, the people who listen to my music, we call it boom trap.
Okay.
So it's like a little bit of current type of vibe to it, but it's also very hip hop, very bar heavy. So
I like boom trap. I
boom
like
trap.
that name.
Yeah.
You've actually done shows with. Now, did you open for these artists or just perform on the same stage with like Cardi B, KRS-One?
Yeah, I've opened for Cardi B, KRS-One, Nappy Roots. This year I've opened for Caskey, who signed to Cash Money. I've opened for him in 3 cities. Devin the Dude, I've opened for him in 2 cities. Slum Village, I'm just trying to think who else. Boosie, Cardi. I got Cardi right before she blew, so shout outs to Cardi, because that next month she was out of here.
A lot of people don't know I used to go with Boosie back before he did the little kidnapping thing, before he was actually Boosie. We used to call him Frank. But okay, so your second album, did you have? How was it?
Second album was pretty dope. There's a lot of underground hits on that second album. Second album was really like just very bar heavy, very technical in terms of
All Eyes
on V. That's the second one.
How did you come up with that title?
So it was kind of like a collaboration of a couple people. We kind of put the name together. They wanted just something that stood out, because at the time I was signed to a label, so they wanted something that stood out as just being independent and like, hey, you need to pay attention to her. So they came up with, originally it was Eyes on V, and I was like,
anything, was it supposed to relate to Tupac in any way?
No, because I thought about it that way, but they didn't think about it that way. They just thought the title was dope. But I was like, y'all don't think that's too close to Tupac?
I mean, I like it. It's catchy.
Yeah. I think it worked. I think a lot of people there's like a lot of good hits on that album. Like Flower is a very like, it's a story of me talking to me, and a lot of people gravitate towards that song. There's a couple of low-key hits on that album, so it's definitely a low-key banger. Like, a lot of artists have that one album where it's like it sneaks under the radar, but when people hear it, they're like, yo, this is pretty good. I get more more feedback on the second album in terms of like after the fact, where people are like, yo, I really like that second album. Like, where they're still bumping the first one, they go back and they listen to the second one, they're like, holy cow, that one was pretty good too.
Yeah.
So,
where do you do most of your recording at?
Right now I'm recording in Durham. Shout outs to Major Green. I'm at Vibe House Studios. That's where I am. The first and the second album I recorded with Agent Midi, but he moved to California. So Vibe House, Major Green, has become my go-to and my pickup person since then, and we vibe together. It works.
I know that's right. So your third album, No Favors,
No Regrets, No Apologies.
How's that? You just dropped that, right?
Yeah, I just dropped it in January.
Okay.
So it's been moving. It's so far to date, it's been the fastest growing of the 3 albums. It's the fastest growing. I'm already halfway to where I was with the first album.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really growing. there's a lot of hits on that album. I did more videos for this album than any of the albums. And I did a lot of heavy promotion. I went on Power 105 in New York. And
yeah, I saw some of your write-ups.
Yeah, man, I've been moving. Like, it's definitely a great feeling because I'm not having to, people are finding me. Mm-hmm. So it's a different feeling where the first album, like, hey, you know, y'all should listen to me. Now it's like people are actually seeking it out. Like, people are looking for it. So it's a different feeling on a third album. Definitely.
I follow you on Facebook, and you grind harder than some men out here.
Yeah, man, I'm always moving. I'm always somewhere. I'm always doing something. Like, you know, there are times I'll drive 8, 9, 10 hours and go do stuff and then drive back and do stuff here in Raleigh and in Greensboro mm-hmm. and then drive back again. And I feel like if I stop moving or if I put my hustle second, that I'm failing the people who believe in me. So
I think it all goes back to like, how bad do you want it?
Right.
Bottom
line.
When you performed you opened for Mobb Deep. Was that your first performance ever?
When I opened for Mobb Deep, I was in college, and that was my first performance. And like, that was the first thing I ever did, and I was so nervous. I was so nervous. They gave me 11 minutes, and
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time if you have like one recorded song. So at the time I had one recorded song. I had no plan. I was like, okay. They were like, can you open for Mobb Deep? I was like, yeah, I can do that. Mm-hmm.
Was it a contest or something?
It was they had like a hip hop festival at the college, and they knew I rapped. Mm-hmm. So I had friends that worked with the coalition that was putting the thing together, and they were like, she can do it.
What college was this?
William Patterson in New Jersey. Shout out to William Patterson. So
okay.
But yeah, I was so nervous, and I had nothing ready, and then me and my homeboy Mo got up there, and I split the set with him because I really didn't know what I was doing. And I had 2 songs, and then I did 2 freestyles, and then he and I had come up with something together, and then he did a couple songs. It worked out. I'm still trying to, shouts to Mo, because I'm trying to get a hold of that footage. He still has it on VHS. And I'm trying to get a hold of it because I'm like, yo, man.
On VHS?
Right, on VHS. Like, I'm like, yo, man, that's a classic tape. I need a copy of this. So he said he's going to dig it out. So I'm going to hold him to that. I'm going to hold you to it, Mo.
So how long you been down here? You from Jersey, right?
I'm from Jersey originally. I've been in North Carolina now since full-time permanently since 2015, 2014. So
what made you move?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom came down, and long story short, she called me crying because she couldn't set the VCR. And she guilted me into coming down because she couldn't figure out how to stop the clock from blinking. And I came down, and it was turned, like we was in a club, and it was turned up, and my stepbrothers was down here, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of lit. I'm staying down here. And I've been down here ever since.
And that was in Raleigh?
Yeah. Okay. We went to the club, man. We left. We sweated out perms. People's shirts was wet. It was the best. I had the best time of my life. And I was like, man, I'm not going back. Like, what? I put all my stuff in storage, and then I came back down on the train. I've been down ever since. I came down with one suitcase.
Is there a big difference between music in Jersey and here?
Absolutely. Back home is very competitive. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a sport. Like, back home, you're trained to outbar each other. You know, it's all about your bars. It's all about how you deliver. It's all about the attack back mm-hmm. home. Like, you want to outbar each other. Even if you love each other, this would be your best friend forever, but you're going to outbar him because you don't want him to have that bragging rights on you. So, like, even now when I drop music down here, they're like, yo, I really like that beat, or yo, I really like this part of the song, the melody. Back home, they're like, yo, on the 3rd bar and the 2nd word, on the 4th line where you said yo, you should have said the. And I'm like... Of all the things you could be picking up, like, you know, they're very technical back home. So I still, like, I try to keep it in my brand because I still do ciphers mm-hmm. Because that satisfies my people back home. And then I do.
You like doing ciphers?
I do like doing ciphers, yeah. I've done a lot of ciphers. This year I did with battle rappers Chilla Jones and Quest McCody, Marv One, Blind Fury.
I saw you on the cipher where it was Mosca Flux, right?
Mosca Flux.
And
Ivy Monet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Gavin do that beat?
Gav did that beat. Shouts to Gav.
There was a lot of dope women on there.
Yeah, they're on their 3rd installment of that now. I'm on the first 2, and they just did the 3rd one. I didn't do the 3rd one because I was in Orlando filming with Marv One and Chilla and them. So I was busy doing that one. But they're on their third installment of the female spoken gun cipher.
Yeah,
that was my first major thing in North Carolina, like in terms of like major press and coverage and stuff. Like that was my first major thing, and they gave me the first verse on that cipher, and they were like, "You the newbie, here you go." And I was
you
like,
did your thing, though.
"Okay,
that's all that matters."
Thank you. Yeah.
How long have you been doing music?
My whole life. Seriously. My cousins had deals when I was young, so they kind of like classically trained me in hip hop. Like that's all I knew was eat, sleep, hip hop. Eat, sleep, hip hop. They'd be like, "Yo, you gotta learn this lyrics to." I don't know. You gotta learn these Jay-Z lyrics. Here you go. Sit in front of TV. Learn this lyrics. I'm gonna give you extra food if you learn the lyrics. I'm like, okay.
Things we do for food.
Right. Things we do for food. Things I did for fish sticks. I'm just saying, like, liked fish sticks. They're like, yo, we'll give you an extra peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You gotta put on a performance. I need you to get up on this stage and do OPP with me by Naughty by Nature. And it just kind of became a thing for me. So for them, you know, they're not doing music anymore. They're long gone doing other things. But for them to see me moving, it's like the embodiment of them as people. They're seeing me do the things that they wish they had done. So I kind of feel like I got legacy to uphold there. So, you know.
Is it hard for you being a woman and an independent artist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some things you've been through?
There's a lot of... As a woman, you're expected to behave a certain way. You're expected to, and I hate to say it like this, but you're expected to be readily available. Do you know what I mean? And the minute you're not readily available, then it becomes an issue. You get men in your face. You get women in your face too. Like it can go either way. You just get a bunch of people who sometimes have just other motives. And the challenge of it is knowing where to stick and move, basically. Like, okay, I see you, but I'm gonna go this way. You know, you gotta learn where your boundaries are and where your people are, like almost like your safe houses. You gotta know where your safe houses are to navigate. Like I know people I can go to that I'm never gonna have issues with, and in between the BS, that's like my base. Those are the people I go back to, because I'm like, all right, I know this person's solid. I know they're not after nothing crazy. I'm gonna go back, work with them until something else comes up. You know, you got to stick and move the right way, because not everybody means you well, and you just have to learn who means you well and who doesn't, you know? So.
I think that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Do you feel like other independent artists are putting in the work? Like, you know how some artists complain they're not where they should be, they're not getting any support from their hometown. Do you feel it's because they're not putting in the work?
It really depends on the artist. It really depends. Like, you have some artists that really are legitimately putting in work and they're not getting anywhere. And then you have artists who aren't putting in any work and they're getting farther than everybody else. It's really, to me, it comes down to how much you network and how much you move around and get to know other people. And because even though, like, I'm going to go back to what I said my last comment, you know, you have people who mean you well and people who don't mean you well. That doesn't mean I stop networking. That doesn't mean I stop getting up and going to meet people and seeing where they're going to play out in my story. You know, just because something didn't work out, I may backtrack, like, all right, that wasn't the right person to work with. Let me backtrack and try this, you know, let me get to know this person over here. And I think another problem is a lot of people are opportunists, where it's like, I only want to know you if you can benefit me. I don't want to know. I don't care what you're doing or what you're working on. I just want to know if you can help me. And I think that slows people down too. Like, it's a big difference between networking and growing and using people, you know? So
yeah. So what's this I hear about you being an author?
Yeah.
Dropping some books this year?
I'm hoping to drop this year. Fingers crossed I'm dropping this year. I haven't written. I'm a fiction writer, so I write a lot of fiction. I have them ready. I just have to find the right publishing options. I'm leaning towards Amazon. Because it also comes with the ebook. So hopefully you'll get the first novel soon. It's pretty dope. It's pretty good. It's about a female rapper, so go figure.
What's the name of it?
Fame.
Okay, how you come up with that?
I have a song called Fame. And the song called Fame kind of touches in 3 minutes on some of the ideas and principles in the book. So I kind of just took it and ran with it and made it a whole book. I just thought it was a dope story. It was dope to tell. And it's like, you know, some of it is stuff I've seen and been through, and some of it is fiction, but it just was written in a way where it's really eye-catching and it's really catchy. And everybody who's read it just gravitates towards. They love it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it out. So
that's dope. That's dope. What would be some good advice that you can give to independent female artists?
Stay true to yourself. That's first things first. Always be who you feel you're supposed to be. Like, you don't have to be the next Cardi. You don't have to be the next Nicki. You don't even have to be the next Rhapsody. You just be you. Be what feels right to you. Don't feel like you have to downplay yourself or who you are, your values, what you believe in, because there's however many billion people in this world. There's people out there who are going to respect whatever it is you bring to the table, no matter what. There's always going to be a genre or a branding for you and for who you are. And the other thing is just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on what you're working towards. It may take you longer, but you're going to get there eventually. So,
who are some people you work with independent wise?
So on my most current album, I have a song with Ty Harris. He's out of Raleigh.
On the No Regrets album?
On No Regrets. Ty Harris did the hook. Shauna Farmer. Shouts to Shauna. She's from Raleigh-Durham area. She sings on a hook. Lyric G, I've worked with. And the thing about me, I write. So I write R&B as well. So if there's an R&B hook, I wrote it, and then I find the voice to sing it. Like
Can you sing?
No. I can't sing. So I always say it's like a cruel joke. God was like, hey, I'm going to make you write R&B, but you can't sing it.
But you can rap, so.
Yeah. But I can hear the melody. So when I'm in the studio, I know how to guide them to where they should go and what they should do with it. I just can't sing it like that. You know what I mean? I think if I had vocal lessons, I'd be all right. But, we ain't doing all that.
Now, you were on the Grind Mode Cypher.
Yes.
How did you get on that?
They contacted me. I had a friend from New Jersey. He appeared on a few. And he put my name in the hat, and they contacted me. The dope thing about Grind Mode Cypher is you don't know who you're on a cypher with until you get it back. So I had the first one I'm on with Blind Fury, and I had no idea I was on with Blind Fury until they gave it back to me. And I was like, holy cow.
Now, when you say they gave it back to you, what you mean?
So, like, when we get it, we do a reference track. So that way, when we're shooting a video, we have something to work with. So when I got the reference track back, and they don't give it to you in advance. So we got the reference track back probably like 24 hours before we went out there. And then I was like, holy, like, Blind Fury's on this one. Like, I had no idea until I got there. So I was like, and I hadn't opened the email until I was on my way to the cypher, because I didn't know.
Is this the cypher you were at when it was you took the picture and it was like a whole bunch of people behind you? That's the same cypher? That was dope.
I've been with them twice. I just did one with them called Bars at the Beach. I just dropped it, and we're at 30,000 views already. How long
has it been out?
It came out September 2nd. It's at 30,000 already. The one with Blind Fury's at 270,000 right now. And then so I've been trying to like incorporate the cypher thing, because people seem to like it when I get on cyphers. So
have you gotten any offers from those views?
Not offers, but I've done more shows because of them. This year, literally every show I've done this year, I owe to Grind Mode Cypher platform. From that platform, a booking agent picked me up, and he's been filtering me in shows all over the place. Shout out to Ben. He's been filtering me everywhere. I've been everywhere this year because of that cypher. So, and that's how I got picked up for the cypher with Chilla Jones and Marv One and Quest McCody, because they saw me on that cypher, and they were like, hey, we got an idea. We want to do a cypher at the next battle. And that's how I wound up flying to it. They flew me down to Orlando. They put me up in a hotel, and then we did a cypher at the battle. So that was pretty dope.
That's real dope.
That was really dope.
So what you got coming up now?
Working on album 4. Oh my God.
You have a title for it?
No. So I have a superstition. I don't name them until they're done, because I feel like every time when I was younger, I would try to name an album before I was finished. Something would happen, I'd never finish it. So I have a superstition. I will not name it till it's done, or at least until I'm like one song left. So I just know I want to make a classic. I want it to feel good. I want it to be right for me. So I'm taking my time with it. It's going to come out. It's going to be dope. I'm already picking through producers and stuff and trying to figure out which direction I'm going and stuff. But
how far along are you with it?
I'm in the planning process. I haven't gotten to the point where I've picked through a couple beats, but I haven't got to the point where I'm sold on anything yet. Because I'm a mood writer, so it's like it'll hit me, and it'll be like I'll be mad about something, and I'll make a song about it, and then that'll just set the pace for everything else.
Do you already have an idea of who you want to work with as far as producers, or you might want to feature on any songs?
No, I'm really wide open. For a reason. I'm wide open because I feel like I don't want to limit myself, and I don't want to put too many thresholds on my thought process. Like the reason the first album worked so well was because I got halfway through that album and scrapped half an album. Like there's a whole nother 12 songs on that album that I just completely scrapped because halfway through that album I caught a different vibe, a different mode, and I went the other direction with it. So I want to kind of have that process again because that worked well for me. I want to, with the second album and the third album, I was very hell-bent on making a certain type of album. But with the first album, I was just kind of creating. And then when I found things that fit the right vibe, I ran with it. And I kind of want to get back to that because it felt good.
Is there anybody that you want to work with that you haven't?
No. I mean, yes and no. I'll say yes and no. I want to work with whoever is open-minded. So is that a specific person? No. It's people who my energy gravitates towards. I know that sounds like super weird, but I'm all about vibes and energy and connection, and like, you know, all the features on the first album and even all the features on the third album, they just kind of happened. They weren't planned. I didn't look out like, oh, I'm gonna work with this person. It just happened. Like I just happened to have a song and be talking to somebody and I go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put you on this song. I think it's gonna work out. You know, and I just want to get back to that process because I think to me that's more natural, and the what you get back is more natural like that. So I'm down to work with whoever is about to work and about that vibe. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it.
So we're going to play 3 snippets. Yes. Now, are these snippets from your album that you have out now?
Yes.
They are?
Yes. Okay. We can start with I Want to Win.
And who is this producer?
This is produced by Drone Beats. He lives in Jersey. I know him since I was 16. Shouts to Drone.
The thing about motivation is, what's that? Sometimes you gotta motivate your goddamn self. That's right. Talk to him. Listen. They say you Veno, put your cape on. Time to make this music, make a bank run. I don't need your lanes, cause I went out and I made one. Find a better chick, you can try, but they don't make one. I'm hot up in my whip, plus my clique, we keep it A1. Sauce on top of sauce, we the bosses you be asking about. Worker mentality will leave you all with asses out. I'm the type of chick making moves they gonna ask about. Up and down the coast, back and forth until I'm passing out. Never scared of nothing with ambitions like a rider. I'ma pull up anywhere and get the whole hood behind it. If they say I ain't lit, I'ma call them all a liar. Cause I'm ether mixed with flames and I try them all by fire.
I like that.
Ooh.
I like that beat. Okay. Okay.
That's the first track on the album, so it's only fitting we start with the first.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
Hard. Okay, what's the next one?
We've got, you said Fame. We're going to save Fame for last. Okay. Let's do I Keep Thinking About You.
That sounds like it's going to be slow. Is this an I Love You slow or
it's
Get Out
It's
slow?
a I Love You bop.
Okay.
It's a very vibey I Love You bop. That's the best way I put it. Shouts to Shauna. That's my sis. Definitely shouts to Shauna. I called her. I said, I got a hook. I need you. Come here. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, I know this one. I've seen this video.
There's a video for this one, yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
You can't get them off your mind, right? Venomiss, Shauna, I don't know. Say, babe, you been all in my brain. We met, I ain't been the same. See, I know that I can't complain, but your love got me so insane. When I'm down, come charge me up. Lift me up when I'm feeling stuck.
How do you find your beats?
Give me such a rush. Show me love till I had enough. See,
so
I
they
don't
just
know
look
if
me
I
out and
told
send me
you.
stuff
Don't
like,
give
yo,
a
I
fuck
need you on
what
this
you
beat.
go through. I'm
like,
loving you as
okay.
a total. I'm in love with you,
that.
yet I hold you. I ain't up for game of chasing what's real. I ain't never said nothing I don't feel.
Where did you shoot
I ain't
this
never felt
video
nothing
at?
that's this real. Ain't playing games, go, let's chill.
Tell me what you thinking about, I know you were thinking that I'm playing. thinking about you, thinking about you.
She has like a very strong voice.
Yeah, I keep thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Shauna on that.
It was, I like that.
It was very, like, we've been supposed to work together for a long time, and it was very hard for me to find something. Her voice is very unique, and I wanted to accentuate her unique voice. So when I wrote the hook, I was like, oh man, this has Shauna all over it. I'm about to call her. So I called her and I was like, listen, this is what I hear. And I put her in the booth, and she was a little unsure of herself at first because she, you know, it's different when somebody's writing it. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're going in and it's your writing, it's one thing. But when somebody else wrote it, you're like trying to make sure you please them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, Shauna, no, just take it, just run with it. And she took it and she ran with it, and it came out perfect. And I couldn't ask for no better. So shout out to her. She did a thing
on it.
Yeah.
So this last one is Fame, right? Mm-hmm. And this is where you got the title of your book, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is my Talking Junk record.
Producer.
Come and take a walk on the wild side. When niggas sell they soul for the limelight. When bitches do the stitching for your riches, when your niggas get you too, when they held up with your boo. Anything will go for the fame. I said anything will go, so they change. I see the lanes, I'm just trying to keep it sane. Now they see you hood rich, so they aiming for your brain. Never met a booth that I don't like. I ain't never spit a verse that I ain't right. Keep it funky, they don't like me, I was fighting. I'm an angel with the devils, now I'm walking through the night. All you really need is the money, cause niggas do the most over money. Get it steady, acting funny when they talk the most shit. Tell them come and take it from me then.
Man, I can't stand that bitch Venomiss. I heard she got like 9 kids by 16 baby daddies and they all named Junior.
Off the Dynasty album.
Welcome to the top of your game, where everybody gonna know your name. It's the fame. Separate the real from the names. The time of your life is so.
I like that.
That's why I saved it for last. That's the bop. Everybody, I mean, nobody expects that one when it comes on. Everybody's like, whoa, what is, you know.
So how many tracks is on the album?
This album is 9. I did an EP. I didn't do the only one that's full LP is the first one. Okay. And I've been doing EPs, just kind of, that's the direction the game has been going. My next one, I want to do an LP. Okay. I feel like I'm ready for another LP. But I've been sticking to EPs just because I feel like 9 is a sweet spot where you keep your listeners' attention. I felt like when I did my first album, I did 12. Really, I had 14 to begin with. And when you do 12, 13, 14, sometimes people get kind of like bogged down because they're trying to listen to so much. Mm-hmm. So I've been stopping at 9, but this next one I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep me posted.
Oh, yeah.
You want to drop your information so everybody can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the web, www.venomissworld.com. I'm on Instagram at It's Venomiss, youtube.com/Venomiss, Facebook, Twitter at It's Venomiss. Literally, and I'm Google verified. So I'm Googleable. So just go on Google, type in Venomiss, and it's VENOMISS. Just type it in on Google, and literally my shows and everything pop up, like everything.
I think Greg wants you to add something.
Oh, I forgot to talk about shout outs to Italy, Milan, Italy. I have a interview, not an interview. I just did a song for Milan, Italy. It's my first international feature. Okay. DJ out there contacted me, and I'm on his project in Italy. So shout outs to Italy. I'm trying to come out of the country and tour. I got Germany coming up next year. So yeah, it's a big year for me.
Get cross seas, that big money come in. I know that's right. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Again, keep me posted for your fourth album.
Yeah.
Okay. Medley Media Podcast. We out.
Peace.
Come and take a walk on the wild side. When niggas sell they soul for the limelight. When bitches do the stitching for your riches, when your niggas get you too, when they held up with your boo. Anything will go for the fame. I said anything will go, so they change. I see the